What's up, divas, and what's up, divos? It's your girl April. So it is Real Talk Wednesday, which means that it is time to dish the tea, give some advice, show some love to the channel and to my subscribers, as well as just let's chit chat. So if you have a real talk issue that you need to be advised on, go ahead and send me an email at MuffinIsMyLovers2012@gmail.com, and make sure that you please put in the subject line Real Talk so that I know that it is official Real Talk. So yes, ladies, we're going to get right into this Real Talk. If you're interested in the hair that I'm rocking, it's actually from PerfectLocks.com. I made this unit like 4 months ago. It's their relaxed virgin Indian Remy relaxed straight. So it is virgin hair, and it looks like it is yaki hair, like African American hair. This is like by far my favorite unit. It is a must-have. If you love hair textures like this, then I really suggest you check out Perfect Locks. I've had this for 4 months. I wear it religiously. Don't leave home without it. Yes. And the makeup that I'm actually wearing is all from the dollar store, ladies. So if you guys are on a budget like me, because yes, I am on a budget. I have kids and grandkids, but I'm always on a budget even if I didn't have kids, because it's all about budgeting. But yes, a Dollar Tree makeup can make you look just as fabulous. So let's get into this video, okay? Okay, so for this week's episode, we're going to do two Real Talks because they're both really short. I'm trying to catch up. So for those of you guys who are like, well, where's mine? I just sent it to you last week. It will be up very shortly, so just be patient with me, okay? So this one, we're going to call her Dee Dee. This is the first one, and this is a really short one, so we're going to make it short, sweet, and simple. Because sometimes I can relate and sometimes I can't. But I try to take my own life situations and try to relate them to the Real Talk. So hey April, I've been one of your loyal followers for years now, and I love your channel. Now this is my issue. I feel that I will never find a husband or an actual boyfriend. Some days I feel like I'm going to be alone forever. I'm 28 years old, no children, I work full-time, very independent, and I keep myself well-groomed. I always seem to run into the guys who either have baby mama drama, have a girlfriend whom they're willing to cheat on me with, or a guy who likes to string me along. I just feel like I'm at the point of no return and keep hitting brick walls with these men. I feel that I'm a really good woman with a lot to offer. Please, April, I need your advice and help. Love, Dee Dee. So, Dee Dee, let's all make sure that we are very honest, but let's keep it professional, not professional, but family-like when we're leaving comments below. So, I can totally feel you on that, okay? So, I'm 40. However, I don't look 40, and I keep myself well-groomed. I will be honest and say there are days when I go outside to the grocery store with my scarf on and no makeup, because, hey, I don't always have to look fabulous, okay? It's just not in my criteria all the time. It's just not something I want to do all the time. But for the days that I am well-groomed, and I can't say this now because I've gotten someone, but I have someone, but this person is from my past. But I can say that I can totally relate to what you're feeling. And I say that because before the person that I'm with now, before that, you know, I moved here. I was living here for 2 years now in Arizona. Almost 2 years. But for the entire time that I've been living here, before my fiance that I'm with now came along, there were guys out here that actually wanted to date me, and then they were types that were trying to holler at me. And so, you know, it kind of made me feel like, damn, am I like the ugly duckling? Am I going to be by myself? Because I just never can find Mr. Right, and the ones that I do see that try to holler, they are just like so not my type. And when I say not my type, like, okay, you look dirty, you look like you didn't wash today, okay, you don't look like you groom at all, yeah. And then the words that be coming out their mouth, it's just like amazing, like, what's up, mama? Oh, hey, mommy. And I didn't know I gave birth to your ass, okay? You don't look like you on my income tax return when it comes to how many children you got. I don't remember giving you a Christmas gift and providing for you. Why are you calling me your mother? It'd be stuff like that, you know. But mainly be the ones, some of them that just think they have too much game, or like they really don't look like they bathe, or they're lost in a time warp, meaning their whole dress code is totally off. And I guess this is because I'm not from the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. And no disrespect to you West Coast ladies, but it just seems really that the most men out on the West Coast, let's say in Arizona, they really don't know how to dress. And they're like really caught in the past. And I'm like past that. And some of them just really don't look like they bathe. Like, oh, you just look smelly. Okay. But then I have come across one that was from the East Coast side, Jersey, and he was so good looking. We actually met each other at a club, and he just kept chasing me around. Dark skin, because I don't like him light skin. Tall, muscular. He was really nice, but his ego was bigger than his actual head. Like, really? He just really thought it was all about him. He was just so into himself. It was all about him, you know, talking about what's up, light skin, giving me, you know, it was just kind of like, okay, dude, you are nice looking and your build is out of this world. However, your whole personality really sucks. And we can't be in a relationship and you thinking you look better than me, okay? You just can't feel like he just was like, ugh. He was so cocky, like, and it's such a turn off when a guy is like that. Like, they're so into themselves and they're just so egotistical and they just think it's all about them. And that's a total turn off for me. It's like, I don't really care how good you look. I don't really care how much money you got. I don't really care what you do for a living. I don't really care. But once you show me that side of you, it's just like, okay, you know what? Go ahead. So I totally can feel you. It felt like I was going to be alone for a while, and I kind of somewhat was like, you know something, I don't really even feel like going at this anymore. Like, I'm just so over the whole relationship thing. I don't really care to be in a relationship with anyone right now, because I'm just trying to get my life on track, trying to get back into the groove of things, because, you know, I did go through a lot with leaving the East Coast, leaving my husband, coming here and just adjusting, just readjusting my whole life with me and my kids. So in a relationship was not in my agenda at all. And to me, it really feels like when you're looking for a relationship, you seem to find those that are really not worth your time. And unfortunately, that's just how it be. It's just like that. And I can relate to that, and I have friends that can relate to that. Now that I stopped looking and I just, you know, just started really focusing on me, and it wasn't to the fact that I was really looking, but it was to the fact that, you know what, I need some companionship too, and I want to walk down the street or in the store and hold hands with my man, because I get tired of seeing everybody else do that. That makes me feel some type of way. And I just feel like, well, damn, am I too picky? Am I too selective? However, you never can be too selective if you want to be with someone or you want a relationship, but you want them to look like they're washing and they're groomed, okay? My standards are not low. And however, I don't think I'm better than everybody where, you know, my standards are like out of this world. But I do feel like I carry myself to a certain extent, and I expect the person that I'm with to be just as well on my level. So sometimes we just have to put aside what we want in life and what we're looking for and just focus more on ourselves. And even though you may be doing that, a relationship is going to come along when you least expect it. And that's the same way it did for me as well. I didn't expect the relationship. I was fine. You know, I was doing my YouTube thing. I was looking for a job. I was just getting into my own business and just realizing, who's April? And then one just blew in like the wind, okay? And it wasn't like it was a relationship for me. It was more or less a relationship for my son and his father. But it was kind of like, okay, he wants to be with me as well, and I'm going to somewhat give this a chance and see where it leads. And I did so, and it actually led really well. It allowed me to go ahead and feel like, you know what, I'm going to get a divorce. I'm not going to try to work this bullshit out no more with my ex-husband. What the hell for? Shit. I think I really stayed with him so long is because I was lonely and I didn't have anyone, and I felt like, you know what, he's the only one that's ever going to want me because I have all these kids and he really loves me, and why even bother? I'm just going to try to work it out with this man, and I'm just going to carry on with my life. This is how part of me felt, and you know, that's why I just was like, forget it. So I tried to work on something a long distance with him, but it just didn't work out. I really wasn't interested, and it was bad enough that I was trying to force myself to really have feelings for him like that, but it kind of was like I was forcing myself out of desperation because I was lonely at the time. And I'm never lonely because I'm always here with my kids, but sometimes we as women always need that companionship. But if you're like 2,500 miles away, you're not going to companionship me. And if you're still on your bullshit and you're still drinking, why even bother? I'm better off alone, and I'm happier alone without you. And I had to realize that, like, God, if he comes to live with me, he's gonna drain me, and I'm gonna wish that he wasn't breathing at the time. So I really don't want to be bothered with this. So I just left it alone. And then when it was least expected, me and my fiance, who is my son's father, rekindled something, which I really am glad that I went ahead and, you know, let things lead into what they are now. I wasn't going to, but you know, you still have feelings for other people, and then you still have feelings for this person here. So it's like, you know what, that other people that I'm having feelings for, he's not even worth any feelings at all. But the person that I'm with, I've always cared for him, and we've always had a good friendship. So that's what it led into. But it's really basically, you will find a relationship when you least expect it. It might be where you're looking, or your standards. I'm not saying lower your standards for no one, man or female. Don't lower your standards for anyone. But when you least expect it, it will come upon you. It's just that things take time, and unfortunately, sometimes we're not patient enough. You're still young. You're 28 years old. Sometimes men at your age are still really immature. You're 28, and if they're 28, they could really be like 21 mentally. So it's always best to just focus and try to be patient. Because being impatient can lead the wrong person into your path. And trust me, girl, you do not want to go there. Trust me. I've had that, been there, done did that, divorced it. So patience is a virtue, but it's really, really important. And just whatever you do, just don't rush into anything because you're lonely. You know, keep doing the things that you're doing for yourself. Never do it for a man, but do it for yourself. It's like I tell my man now, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight because I feel like I'm fat. He's always like, you are not fat. I love you the way you are. You're fine. You're perfect. But I have to remind him, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me because I want to look good for myself. Granted, I want to look good for you too, but me comes first. So whatever you're doing, Dee, continue to do it for yourself, not for any particular male or female person. And I hope that my advice was somewhat helpful, and of course all the other divas will of course leave some information as well as advice for you guys below. So on to the next real talk. So this is for one of my teens, and you guys know I have teens in my home too. My son who's 17, my daughter who's 19, and then my daughter who just turned 13. So they are in the teens, okay? So this one here, let's get into this. We are going to call her Kimmy. Hi, April. I know that you're a busy woman, so I'm going to get right to the case. I'm a high school student, and I have been wearing my weave for 3 months, and it's getting really old. It's not necessarily the weave itself, but it's my side part. I asked my mom, can I get it done, and it's like she's ignoring me, and I know that she has the money to give it to me. To make matters worse, she got her hair done a few days ago, and I asked, why can't I get mine done? And she says that it's because she has a job. I don't want to be disrespectful because that's my mother, but I can only take so much. There's even girls at my school that thought it would be funny to put me on the spot about it and say that she does hair. I really wanted to tell her about herself, but I didn't because she's not worth me getting suspended. Please, please, please help. So Kimmy has an issue with getting her hair done, and her mom is basically letting her know, well, look, I get my hair done because I got a job. And then there's also the situation where she's at school, and basically one of the young girls there that is a high schooler, she does hair, and she's basically putting Kimmy on the spotlight, well, I do hair. First of all, I can somewhat really relate. It won't be in the weave section, but it will be in the affordability section. You are a teenager, and I remember when I was a teenager. That was a long time ago. However, my mom was a single mom. She really couldn't afford too much, but the things that she did afford me, I was so grateful. I didn't grow up wearing Nikes and Reeboks and Jordans. I didn't even have Jordans back then, but I wore sneakers that were like fake Adidas. They had 4 stripes, or you know, and they were called balloons, like the balloons that, you know, fly in the air. They were called balloons, and I was in like the 8th grade wearing this. So this was junior high school, and people would make fun of me and say things like, "Oh, you're gonna float off into the air? Oh, look at your balloons!" And they would make fun of me and say dumb shit like that really would like kind of mess with me mentally, or you know, just little things like that. But you know what, I was still happy about it. I didn't really care because my mom did the best she could, and it didn't really bother me because I'm the one who picked out the shoes, you know. Or they would call me Skippy because I had on skips and things like that. So it was just like little things like that, and because kids are so fucking cruel. They're really cruel. And you know, I kind of was like, okay. But as I got older and got into high school, I got a job, a part-time job, working as a babysitter. And so I didn't have to ask my mom for anything at that moment in time anymore. I got my own money. I was shopping. This is when like the Gap just came out. And me and my bestie, we was at the Gap constantly getting stuff, buying stuff. They weren't so expensive back then either. But I can totally relate because I have 3 teenagers. My 13-year-old, she can't get a job, of course, so whatever she wants, I'm not going to say I give it to her, but I keep it in moderation. I do pay for her to get her hair done. It's $200, $225 to get her braids done. And yeah, I could do it myself, but I just basically try to alleviate my own my hands, but I can do it myself, but I just want her to be able to look good. But my 17-year-old, he loves expensive things, meaning Jordans, and they're like $180, $160, $200. I'm not about to ask my mother back then for no $200 damn sneakers, and he know he better not ask me for no $200 damn sneakers neither, because I will fly his head off. So you know, I try to make him responsible, and when he's in high school as well. So your mom is right. She does have a job. However, she still has to provide for you. She doesn't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars getting your hair done. But here's the thing, Kimmy. This is what I would totally suggest you do, because you did not mention to me that you have a job. What I would do, because it is about to be summer, I'm here in Arizona, so school is out, and I'm not really sure if it is for you, but depending on your age, why don't you get yourself a summer job or after school job, so that way you can pay for your own weave. You may not be able to afford the entire weave amount, but I'm pretty sure that if you show some responsibility, your mother will be more than willing to help you pay for this particular hairstyle. We as parents, we do work hard. We do have jobs. I try to make my kids happy and comfortable and give them what they really need, as well as I'm not going to have them go outside looking like ragmongers or Raggedy Anns. But like with my oldest, she's 19. She has a job. She has a baby and she has a job. However, before she had her job, she did have the baby. She didn't have a job. But you know what? I provided for her and her baby, because that is my daughter, and she was pregnant. But in return, what she did for me was she helped my daughters with their schoolwork every day. She cooked dinner all the time, and she cleaned. So that was payback, or not payback, but payment in return for just doing things around the house for me. And in return, of course, I have no issue with going all out, spending $250 on a stroller for my grandson, and just buying things regardless, because she was helping me out. And it wasn't like, here, you do this and I'll do that for you. It wasn't like that. It's just something that came naturally for the both of us. She just decided to do all of these things, and she took that on as her own responsibility. And I took on my own responsibility of providing for her son until she got on her feet, which she is now. She has a job. But for my 17-year-old, he does earn his own money, and he provides his own shoes. I do still buy his shoes, and he'll pay for his haircuts. But if he doesn't have the money for his haircuts, I do give him 20 bucks. Or if he's out of cash, you want to go out, here's 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks, and enjoy. But I really think it boils down to being responsible. Show your mother that you have some responsibility by getting a part-time job. It doesn't matter if you work 2-3 days a week. You're showing her that you're making the initiative to help out and get a job. So therefore, she won't feel so bad about giving up all her hard-earned money. Make sure that you have things done around the house. Yeah, you can't take but so much much, and neither can we. We can't take but so much of paying bills and doing this and doing that, especially if we single parents. So what I really think, Kimmy, and it's maybe not something you wanted to hear, but as a parent, I'm going to tell you, get yourself a part-time job. Help out around the house more. And I bet you your mother will be more than willing to accept the fact that, you know what, Kimmy needs her hair done before I do. So let me go ahead and give her this $100 to go get her weave fixed up. You know what I'm saying? We are very, 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 very happy when we have a child that's responsible. And especially when you're in high school, you're able to work. So get yourself some type of little bit of income. And show your mom that you are responsible. You don't have to make $150 a week or $200 a week, but you're just showing initiative, which is the most important thing there is. Now, as for you little friends in high school that are talking about, oh, I do hair, please, Kimmy. First of all, she's in high school. Who says she does hair? She does hair, but is her hair grade A, the best? She's still in high school. I wouldn't let a kitchen experiment, because that's what it is, on my head. Go ahead and get your hair done professionally. You don't need her business. You don't need her doing your hair. We're not going to go to the kitchen and get our hair done from some high school student. That's out of the question. As far as the weave comes, go ahead and get your hair done professionally. Maybe her weave looks great. That's good for her, but you don't need to give her your money. And like I said, girls, please, they could be so bitchy and catty. Females are the worst sometimes because they always want to be fronting like they better than somebody. Or on top of that, they just think that they got skills for every department. I'm not going to say that I got skills for every department because what I can do for me might not be the same shit that I could do for you. But yeah, kids are cruel and so are females. Females are always trying to show their ass, and it's sad. But at that age, at the game, don't get yourself suspended over her. She's nearly not worth it. But don't really give her any of your time either. But just show some initiative and talk to your mom and tell her, you know, I want to get a part-time job. Would it be possible if you can help me pay for my weave? It's always a way around everything. Trust me. I was there once, and I went through the trials and tribulations with my own mom. And then I have kids of my own. So trust me when I tell you. We just like for you guys to show initiative. I know exactly where my mom is coming from now. So, yes. So, divas and divos, go ahead and post your comments below for Kimmy and Dee Dee about high school as well as about finding a man. And on that note, I'll be back real soon. So stay diva and divalicious. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe if you haven't all done so. And I'll see you guys on my next.
This is for my babies.